Okay, hi. Basically, this is your review for your final exam, and I'm going to put it in pieces. And the only way I felt that I could really do that effectively was to go buy your book, and you may as well. It's a fairly decent book, but I don't think you really need to read the whole thing over. Although God knows it wouldn't hurt you. You might learn a lot if you did. Um, you'll be able to use your books and your notes during the exam. You just can't talk to each other. That's all I ask. And I'm going to highlight what I expect you to know today. Hopefully, I'll even give you a few of the questions on the exam. And they're going to be short answer for the most part. I doubt I'll do any multiple choice or true and false. It's possible, but I don't think so. And there'll be one or two short essays. So you have to think conceptually. You have to think about what it is we're trying to get here. And I think you can do it. Now, the idea, I think, the introduction to this course is all about why you're doing it, and it's got to be more than I want a doctorate so that I can enhance my career. I think you want to be, when people ask you, for example, why you want to do research, you should have a good answer, because they're really you can do your work without a doctorate. You can do it with a master's degree. You should be able to tell people why you're interested in this particular type of research, and you should know the value and the point. So one answer is that there are many ways of knowing, but science, the scientific method, works the best. With the scientific method, you can essentially study some aspect of virtually anything. The world is open to inquiry. As social workers, we really need to understand social work research and how it is conducted, how results of a study become meaningful, and in order to see, we want to see the evidence. We want to be able to provide evidence to funders who might want to spend money on projects, for example. Justify evidence to justify policies. We use our evidence to justify policies that will directly affect people's lives. We should also be wondering whether or not our direct practice with people is effective. And with certain tools, we can actually do this. We can evaluate our own work, research our own effectiveness. There may be a time, you might say, that an agency you're working for will need to evaluate its effectiveness. And having a solid understanding of research methodology, knowing how to put together a study, is going to be worth something. You will become a valuable asset to the agency. And if you're interested in changing the world, you can evaluate whether or not our laws and social agendas are working. If they're not, we can lobby for change based on measurable empirical research findings. And finally, you should tell people that it's important to you as a professional to be able to read the latest studies about issues and treatment in the field. And you want to be able to read them critically, not just swallow everything you read just because it looks scientific and has a lot of statistics to back up their findings. Okay, I want you to be able to tell me a little social work history on this final exam. Look up, and I think it's in the first chapter, who discovered that social work practice was not effective, and when did that happen? It turns out, hold on a second. Oh, you don't want to leave a message. Anyway, it turns out that researchers evaluated general social work practice, but they couldn't justify it as effective, the profession, and when they did that. And the general perception of social work tended to be that it just didn't matter particularly, our work. And DSWs, in those days they called them doctors of social work, conducted studies on specific interventions and found, indeed, that using more definable methods that could be observed, our work is indeed observably effective with clients. And that effectiveness varied upon client characteristics such as age, gender, race, and socioeconomics. Also, things mattered. Also, what we call the role of the therapist. The therapist mattered. The different types of experiences the therapist had, the different ways the social work engaged clients mattered. This is why there's a push. There still is a push to codify treatment and to teach social work methods by the book. Psychologists in particular engage in research treatment interventions and train clinicians to use manuals to standardize therapy. The more standardized a therapy, the more it can be regarded as reliable. if everyone can do it the same exact way, we can show that it is the treatment, not the therapist, that is effective. And of course, the therapist doing the treatment will become more effective. This is a huge step in the right direction in terms of what we call showing effectiveness in our work. Okay, we're going to continue with this in just a second. You can get up and stretch your legs.